Hey downtown van. Hey downtown van.
Hey downtown van.
Hey downtown van.
Hey downtown van.
Hey downtown van.
You're listening to Hey Downtown Van, hosted by the Downtown Vancouver BIA.
Hey Downtown Van, welcome back to another episode of the podcast. I'm your host, Sofia Laratta, and I am so excited about today's episode. We had two very special guests, Tommy D and Kendall Gender. For those of you who don't know Tommy D, he is not only a very close friend of mine, but he is Vancouver's premier queer event producer and drag talent manager. Of course, if you don't know who Kendall Gender is, I don't know where you've been living, but she is a performer, host, model, activist, Canadian drag sensation. You may know her from Canada's Drag Race. You may have seen her at some local events or on Downtown Van's People of Downtown mural. But it was truly an honor to have her on, and it was such a great episode. So I hope you enjoy. Let's get into it. Kendall, Tommy, welcome to Call Her Daddy.
No, it's Call Me Daddy.
Right,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being here.
Of course.
We're so
happy
excited to have you.
Yee, excited to be here.
What did you do this morning?
What do you think?
Me too.
Actually, I went to Pilates extra early this morning.
Amazing.
And then I spent 3 hours getting ready just for you.
Aw, well, we really appreciate it.
Oh, happy to.
Where do you do Pilates?
At Legree.
Oh, nice.
I do.
I
Yeah,
love
yeah.
Legree.
Shout out to Bousset. Woo woo.
Oh, yeah, she's a queen.
I did
Yeah.
not spend 3 hours getting ready for you.
What did
I
you
spent
do?
about 5 minutes.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I went to go pick up this wig this morning, and I was like, I have to have extra volume in it because this is gonna come
Sometimes-
with a full blowout. And I was
Sometimes
actually
I do it.
surprised that we got a man bun today.
Yeah.
No, we did. No, basically, like sometimes I'll do it, but I just like Thursday's kind of the day that we're filming is Thursday, obviously, and
Yeah.
it's like my day to do nothing but like desk work. So I'm sorry, I love you,
No,
but
you look
like
beautiful.
The hair is just so. It
What
takes
day
so
is your
long.
wash day?
Friday.
That's why I know. I was like, we're missing something.
Friday.
Why is your wash day Friday?
Because it's the end of the week.
Yeah, but I would like wash on a Monday. Because
So I do a Monday and then I do a Friday. So like after the weekend, Monday is like the start. It's all whatever. And then it's like workout, day off, workout, and then wash for the weekend.
Okay.
But I'm also a disgusting boy and sometimes it will only be Friday.
I love that for you.
And our work schedule is very different
Yeah.
than
Yeah.
most people.
Yeah.
So true.
Sometimes the hair gets clean when it can.
Yeah.
I don't know who would not know who you are, Kendall.
Oh.
But for the benefit of those who maybe don't know who you are, let's introduce ourselves, Kendall and Tommy.
Happy to. My name is Kendall Gender. I am a drag performer here in Vancouver. I've been doing drag for 10 years now. My
Wow.
gosh, I know. Seems crazy when you say it out loud. And somehow I keep on getting younger every year. I don't really
Absolutely.
know how this
Wow.
happens.
Okay.
Crazy.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and that's me.
That's it.
What else do you want me to say? You want my full bio?
Yes, finalist on Canada's Drag Race, activist, global superstar. Like
Literally.
there's so much more than just like I've been doing drag for 10
God,
years.
I don't know.
Hype yourself up.
That's what I'm here for. That's like-
exactly.
I'm really humble. I'm really down to earth. I'm
Amazing.
just a
No.
regular girl.
I love that.
don't let her lie.
Tommy.
My name is Tommy. I'm an event producer and talent manager based in Vancouver. I've been doing it for, ready for this, 20 years.
Wow.
And he's getting exponentially older.
And I'm getting
Which is crazy.
Yes, it's
you-
like the opposite end.
You started when you were 10?
You are so
Wow.
sweet. No, I started when I was 21. Yeah. Yeah. My first party ever was actually when I was like 21 years old. And then so that's like the gist of it. But then
Yeah.
like we work together on a lot of other stuff.
So cool. So, Kendall, you've been a trailblazer in the Vancouver drag scene. You're amazing. Everybody knows who you are. What has it been like for you to watch the city's drag community evolve over the years?
I think the biggest sort of like difference that I've seen over the last decade is honestly a huge amount of diversity in Vancouver. I think that when we first started, it was a little bit of a smaller scene and not as much representation as well. And I think now, comparatively to, other cities that I've been to and that kind of stuff, I do think that Vancouver's drag scene is probably one of the most diverse. And I think the best part about that is that it's not a forced thing. It's really something that has happened naturally over the years. And it's really cool to see, like, you go to a show and it's not just like you're going to see the carbon copy same performer, in 5 different hair colors doing very similar songs. It's really different every single time someone that comes on stage stage. And I think that's probably my favorite thing that I've seen change over the course of my career.
Tommy, you've been a key figure behind TFD Presents.
The key figure, the only figure.
Which is like actually insane.
Yeah.
Do you genuinely do it by yourself?
Yeah. So basically, I started my company 20 years ago, like I said, and it kind of stemmed from, like, I did a couple offshoot events for a couple years, and then after the third year, I was like, okay, I think we need to get a little bit serious about this. As serious as a 23-year-old can get, right? And then I had two kind of like partners at the time that kind of started the company with me. Eventually, they just kind of like fell off. Everybody knew that it was just going to be like a solo show by the end of it. But like, yeah, since like the resurgence of everything, like there's like been a big party era, then there was the drag era, now there's like the management era, and it's basically like me. I have people that help with specific parts of each, I guess, part of the company, right? Like there's the event manager, then I have another agent that helps out. But yeah, it's basically like me and my pals.
I love that.
Yeah.
Do you ever get tired of it?
No.
And you won't.
Here's the thing. That's kind of a loaded question. Do I ever get tired of it? I mean, I find some things that can be annoying.
Yeah.
As with everything. Do I see myself doing anything else? No. I also really love kind of like the world that we've created for ourselves and like, you know, the chaos that we live in. And like, I mean, some things get annoying.
Bus club, other club.
10 p.m. So like this question that I asked you about, I was like, I'm sleeping.
So, I mean, I guess I will also preface and say that he is my manager, obviously, but there's been such a cool like intersection because he's also one of my closest friends. And that's sort of like how everything developed very naturally. So we joke about, texting at 10 p.m., but that's also one of the cool parts about working with one of your best friends is that like the relationship has just turned into something like so different and so cool.
That is so cute.
Yeah. And there has to be like, I think also for us, because we are queer, right? Like for us, it's very... Take a shot, right? I think for us, it was like, you know, I'm sure we're going to delve into it more, but like there's that whole thing of like chosen family and stuff and trust that, you know, you build through that. And I think that's what really helped us kind of get to where we are in our careers is like the trust we have in each other.
Yeah.
And also like, we're so codependent, more so than I think any other two people in the industry that we do, that like, I know exactly what she's thinking at all times about any given scenario and vice versa.
I love that.
Which is the reason that I'm wearing black hair today. Because every time I wear a blonde wig, I get puke emojis in my DMs.
No. Blonde, but I like a root. I like a little bit of a root. A root.
I feel like we almost put a blonde Kendall on the people of downtown mural.
Oh, I would have said no.
No, you did.
Have to get approved.
Yeah, you did.
Have to approve everything.
You were literally like, we can't have her in that outfit on the mural.
No, we can't have the outfit and we can't have the hair. No. Listen, but
Clocked.
I'm usually always right about it.
Yeah.
Usually.
I believe you. Yeah. How did you meet?
Oh my gosh. I mean, just when I was first starting off in drag, Tommy was throwing parties and events. And I think it just kind of like, you know, met out here and there. And then I actually did the competition, Vancouver's Next Drag Superstar. And I think that was sort of where our relationship really started to foster. Just kind of getting that mentorship and that help from, you know, such a seasoned old professional. It was just really nice having that elder in my life.
That was 3 in a row.
He's 20.
That was bang, bang, bang. Ooh, that hurt. Okay. All right.
That's so funny.
Yeah, that's you're such a I think that would definitely be like the main turning point of like our relationship. But like like she was part of the group Brat Pack, and then, you know, I was doing events on Saturday nights at a club called XY, and like, you know, we gave her gigs and stuff like that. We worked together, but it was definitely Vancouver's Next Drag Superstar that everything kind of like really ramped up.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
And what made you get into drag? Why did you think it was going to take you to places like Canada's Drag Race?
Oh, I can't wait to hear this. I want to see if she's going to tell you the truth.
I definitely have always been interested in the idea of, femininity and sort of like expression in that way. I even believe that it started like very young. Like I dressed up as Posh Spice when I was like in the second grade. And it was just something that came very naturally to me. So in my early 20s, when I sort of started going out and, experimenting with style and that kind of stuff, drag, I just saw randomly and I was just like, oh my gosh, what a cool collection of everything that I'm interested in when it comes to like style and my gender and all of this kind of stuff. So it was something I always wanted to do, and I think it came very naturally, but I never could have imagined what it turned into. I think in my wildest dreams as a little kid, sure, I could have said, oh my gosh, I wish I could, travel the world and be a pop star and do all this stuff. But I still to this day get shocked sometimes when I look back at the stuff that I was able to do and the opportunities that I have been able to, accomplish. And so I think yes and no, like could I have dreamt it? Yes, but it still has surpassed so many of my expectations.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah.
What was it like being on Canada's Drag Race?
Well, that's a loaded question. I mean, it really is the Olympics of drag, right? So it is a really, really high pressure environment, sort of showcasing every single skill that you can have as a drag performer. So in any industry, some days are going to be amazing and some days are not going to be good. But it's interesting because that show is a very small capsule of a few weeks of your life that kind of lives on forever. So it's really cool that I have this like very tangible thing that I did, and I'm super proud of, even when it kind of went different ways, like it changed my life.
Yeah.
Like I am forever, indebted to Canada's Drag Race and Crave and all that stuff. Like it literally did change my entire trajectory of my life and given me all these opportunities that I could have never dreamed of.
Oh, that's amazing.
I kind of want to just jump in there. I don't think it changed the trajectory of your life. I knew she was always going to get to where she is. This just helped her get there faster.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
Like I think that was the one thing that like we all saw in Kendall, and it's not just me. Like literally the community saw in Kendall, and like that's what Canada's Drag Race saw in her. That's what the world sees in her. Is like Kendall's a superstar. Do you know what I mean?
Oh,
so,
for sure.
Yeah, she's being a little bit humble. But
No,
true.
it's so kind.
Yeah.
And I'm being so mean to him. My God.
No,
But that's the dynamic, right?
it's amazing.
Yeah.
Tommy, what role do you see your company playing in the local queer community, especially in relation to drag culture and performances?
Good question.
I think for me, one thing that I've always kind of like was kind of like my strength, right? Like as a party promoter or whatever, is I kind of saw trends happening either right before or like at the start. So I saw drag about to take off right around the first season. And like, listen, we're like, the old jokes are there for a reason. It's like, I did watch the very first season of RuPaul's Drag Race 17 years ago in my parents' basement on Much More Music. Like, that's how old it is. And as I was watching that on television, I was doing my I was doing like large scale dance events, right? Mainly club parties and dance events. And then that was happening. And I was like, something is about to shift. We are about to, because I've always loved drag, right?
Yeah.
And for me, it's always been such an important, it's been an important thing for me to meld, like, I wanted to bring drag back into parties, right? And I would go to these huge circuit events and there would be these big productions and stuff. And I was like, this needs to happen in Vancouver. Like, we need to have that. And then when Drag Race started, the US ones, I saw it and I was like, this is going to be the next thing, I promise you. And so my flex, and I love saying this, is I was the first Canadian promoter to bring, and I probably think like one of the first promoters ever to book a girl from RuPaul's Drag Race to appear at an event.
Wow.
Like it
Iconic.
was
Very
so
iconic.
like it was so new that like it was Nina Flowers, and I emailed them and they were like, we don't really know how to do this. Like, what are we doing? I was like, I don't kind of know either, but like, let's get you up here. We'll get you like a permit and you can just perform at Pride. And that was like the first time it happened in Canada, right?
Wow.
So I think for me, that's kind of like, I saw that shift happening right at the beginning, right? And then just kind of to go along with that, like within the local community, is when I saw that happening with like big stars in the States, I was like, well, we have so much talent in Vancouver. How do we bring them two together, right? And so that's when we started building like shows where we would incorporate like local acts with like out of town stars and stuff like that. And it just kind of like built and built. And then Vancouver's Next Strike Superstar took off, and that's like we just finished our 12th year with that.
Wow.
So yeah, I think that's kind of like where we stand is like I love to see and find stars locally and like bring them up.
Yeah.
Like that's like my favorite thing to do. And we have like some really good ones in this town for sure.
Yeah, we have so many.
100%.
I said some good ones. We have so many, but we have some good ones.
You're right. You're so right. Did you think that you would get to where you are today? Like, same question for Kendall. Like, when you were, did you go to school?
Did I go to school? I went to high school. I did 2 years of film school.
Okay, so you wanted to be in film.
Yeah.
So this career was not even on your mind.
Not really. I mean, it was kind of there as a hobby. I wanted to get into film, and then I had a fork in the road moment, and I chose one side, and that kind of like got me fired from my first, like one of my first big film jobs, and it was kind of devastating. And then totally of my own making. But then kind of every skill, funny enough, every skill that I learned in film school, like I'm making a movie in a night as opposed to over 8 months and it's live, right? So like
true.
every skill was transferable, right? And like I tell my parents that all the time because they're just like, I can't believe we spent so much money. Anyways, but it's like, it's very similar. It's scheduling, it's casting, it's like creating like an environment, whatever, right? So I always kind of look at that as like, I transferred all those skills from film to like a one-night event production. It's like basically the same thing, right?
Yeah.
And then did I think like this is where I would end up?
Yeah.
I
20 years
mean,
later.
it's interesting because I mean, we talked about this even before Canada's Drag Race. It was like you always kind of have that fantasy of like, oh well, when you're gonna get famous, I'm gonna manage you and it's gonna be great. We're gonna do this and blah. But like
Then it actually happened.
Then it actually happened.
Yeah.
And I remember, I mean, this is kind of like I remember it was COVID, obviously, and then my event production just stopped. I was right on the pinnacle of hitting like I was booking some of the biggest tours in North America.
Wow.
You know, we had things lined up for like some of the biggest drag stars in the world, and then it was all gone. And it just was gone forever. And I was like, okay, this is so strange. And then all of my friends got cast on Drag Race. Like a lot of them did. And then while they were away, I just kind of started panicking a bit because I was like, I want to help her. Like, it was like, I'm just going to use Kendall as an example, right? I was like, I want to be part of this, right? But I'm like, how do I talk to her after and say, hey, remember that time that we were kind of joking around and blah, blah, blah. And like, can I ride your coattails? And like, can you be my meal ticket? Like, that's kind of what I was thinking
I
of.
don't. Yeah.
And then when she came back, we kind of talked about it. And she said something to me that I will never forget. And we were walking the seawall. We were kind of talking about the whole process of the show. And I was like, listen, I would love to be able to throw my hat into this ring. All these managers are going to call you, blah, blah, blah. And she just stopped me and like she touched my shoulder and she said, I don't understand why you think you would not be a part of this at all, like from the beginning. And that was like, that was the moment.
I mean, yeah, I genuinely will say that I don't think my career would have went the same way if it wasn't for him. Like 100%. Like we joke around and stuff, but like I truly, truly do mean that because it was so many, again, transferable skills that separates him, I believe, as a manager because he is able to do more things than, you know, other people can, right? Like he had so much event experience and managerial experience. So it was like, I don't know, it was just a perfect kind of like blend of everything. And I think that regardless of what happens, having someone just like believe in you is more valuable than anything in the world, right? Because, you know, not every opportunity is a yes. That's just the way our world is. But if someone believes that it could be, that is kind of the sweet spot.
And when you were starting, did you ever have those people saying no to you?
Oh my gosh, I still get no's all the time.
Really?
Of course. Oh my gosh, it's, you know, I'm really one of those people, and especially as I get older, I really believe that you can have the life that you want as long as you ask for it. And I think that no opportunity is too big or crazy. Like some of the things that I've like asked him to pitch me for have been crazy, and we get no's all the time. But I am never ever embarrassed to ask for it.
Yeah.
Ever. But we get no's all the time. It's literally like any job. It's like, what's that expression? Throw something at the wall and
Spaghetti,
see
throw
spaghetti
spaghetti at the wall
and
if it
see what
sticks,
sticks. That's what we're doing all week long. And sometimes it works out.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you're like, I don't know, but nothing.
And all of a sudden
ever-
you're on a mural.
Right.
Yeah.
Which I walk by almost every single day now because I just moved near it.
Yeah, I think just kind of like building on that as well is like some of the stuff that she does want to do is crazy. Like it's insane. But then I'm just sitting there going like, well, what's the worst that's going to happen? We're going to be in the exact same position we are now before they ask us, right? Or before we ask them. And then again, it's like even just kind of like going with people say no and stuff like that. But I think a lot of our success also stems from the fact that like she was saying about transferable skills is like I was touring for 10 years on the other side as like the promoter and now and then like when the girls started coming off the show and we started building that kind of branch of the company, it's like now I knew everything. We knew what to do. Like it was all there. I just had to kind of like flip my brain. And then with the no's, we were just like, okay, fine, we'll just do it ourselves.
So true.
So we're like, okay, fine, we'll do it.
And that's been cool too. Like I've learned so much more about the back end. But that's been really cool too, because like now I know so much more about event production and throwing my own stuff. Like we literally we created a tour for me.
Yeah.
Like I toured my own show, like
That's
my
incredible.
own one-woman show, and
Yeah.
we didn't wait for a huge company to buy it out and make it all easy. It was us doing it,
Yep.
on
Crazy.
our hands and knees, gluing props together and
Yeah.
and meeting with these event people and that kind of stuff. And it was just, I don't know, it's been cool getting to learn so much more about the industry in that way.
Yeah, it's so inspiring.
Yeah, I don't know, I love it.
And then when just like as we were doing it ourselves, then it was like it was like a very if you build it they will come moment because it was like
Totally.
after about a year of it we were like, okay, this is gonna be our last show, and then all of a sudden these big venues were calling and saying like, hey, we want to book the Kennesaw show, and I was like, well, I guess it's not ending because we're gonna keep
Leg
going.
two, yeah.
But I think that's also a testament to kind of like Kendall's work ethic, my work ethic, and just like our whole team is like. For us to get ahead, again, it's like, I'm going to drop the queer word again, like as members of the queer community, it's always a little bit harder for us to get our foot in the door. So like, we just got to do it ourselves.
Yeah.
And then when we kind of like prove what we do, people take notice and it becomes like a really cool moment when we finally get that sexy little paycheck.
Oh yeah,
You know?
absolutely. Kendall, was there someone that inspired you for just the way you perform or your name? Where did your name come from?
Oh, I mean, performing wise in my own delusion, I would probably say Beyonce.
Amazing, absolutely.
But I'm just obsessed with her, like in and out of drag. Like I just love her.
Yeah.
And my name is Kenneth. So when I was in high school, people were calling me Kendall.
Cute.
A lot. Way before the Barbie movie. Very that. So when I started drag, Kendall was kind of just like a natural progression there. And at the time when I started drag, the Kardashians were obviously at like the pinnacle of popularity. And I remember just seeing a magazine cover and it was like Jenner gender, like it was a play on words about that. And I was like, oh, that rhymes. And I literally just kind of put it together.
For you both, what are some of your most memorable or most proud moments at an event, backstage, just in general that you've done together or separately?
I think together, instantly, I think of the Human Rights Museum. We did my Renaissance show there,
Wow.
and it was one of the coolest things I could say either of us have probably put on or been a part of. And it was such a pinch me moment, I think, when we actually got to the venue, because that building is so cool.
It was just so big. It was
just
huge.
I might sound very dumb,
Crazy.
but where is the
Winnipeg.
museum?
It's in
Winnipeg.
Winnipeg.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And it was just a very, very cool moment. I think all of the like blood, sweat, and tears that we put into the tour and shows and everything, that was just such a like, okay, You know what I mean? Like we did it.
Yeah,
huge.
that was a really fun email to get. I called her. I was like, can I say the little joke that I said before?
Please.
So basically, they were doing they were doing like a music retrospective, right? And they were like, well, we can't really afford Beyonce. I was like, I got a Beyonce for you, babe, if you want. But yeah, I think the Human Rights Museum was really cool. I just think for me, it's like my favorite moments together are actually when I'm by myself in a control booth watching her show.
That's cute.
I mean, there's just like, I'm the biggest Kendall fan. I just love Kendall Gender so much, right? And for me, it's like, and this is with any of my friends or any of the girls that I represent or something, I just love them all so much. So my proudest moment is like just when I'm watching them do everything that they're supposed to do on stage, right?
That's
Whether
so
it's a
cute.
show that we're putting on, whether it's a show that we're on the road for, I just like, that's just my proudest moment, you know? Like, I love seeing my friends be the superstars that I know they are, period. That's it. Like, bottom line. Whether it was like when I was throwing parties and it was my friends DJing to a room or go-go dancing or whatever, it's like, that's my proudest moment, is anything that I can be a part of to help make their dreams come true.
That's so special.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of us within like the TF divas, as we call it, we really do, look to him as like a dad. That really is like it is, chosen family is very important,
Call
obviously.
him daddy?
Yeah.
No, we're not calling daddy. Where's it dad? Father.
Call Tommy daddy. Well, some of the 25-year-old dancers.
Okay.
So funny.
Why am I being bullied?
It's fine.
You can keep it in. I'll allow it.
No, but we really do, look to him for guidance and support. And I do really think that a lot of us kind of consider him like that. Which is, I think, so powerful. Because he really does, like, look out for all of us, even behind the scenes, because there's some things that, like, we're not privy to, obviously, as artists. And he just always has our best interest at heart.
And when she says that, it's not that I don't want to tell them, it's that they don't need to know, because I think one of the things is, like, as artists, they're all very sensitive. Do you know what I mean?
Real?
Especially since, like,
I'm also a Cancer.
Yeah. Especially since, like, their work is so intertwined with their, like, who they are
It's
as
us.
people.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's like, basically, I know I'm doing my job right if they don't know any of the bad stuff. You know what I mean? So, and it could be as simple as, like, sometimes a rate will just be so bad and I will just fight for it. I'll be like, I don't understand why you want someone of this level, but you're offering them pennies. Like, I'm just not going to let that happen, right? And that's the thing, is like, I realize that my job is to use like my skills and honestly like my privilege as a, cisgendered white male to protect these queer people. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of like what I was put here for. Oh, that's very deep.
We love
It's
deep.
true.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, they don't need to know all the bad stuff,
Yeah,
Sometimes
no.
I'll tell them and be like, this is how hard I worked. This is what I had to do.
He only tells me when I wear platinum blonde hair.
Oh,
No
God,
reason.
with no root. I need a root.
That's the only time.
Do you ever find like it's hard to work together because you're so close? Like
The two of us?
Yeah, like in
No.
a professional
No, I don't
sense.
think so.
Do you ever fight over work situations or?
We've had disagreements for sure.
Yeah.
100%. And I think that it's that same thing where it is teetering, friendship and business 100%. But because I respect him and I value him more than probably like anyone, any of my relationships, to be honest, in my life, I'm comfortable to say if I have, a difference.
Oh, she's very comfortable to say. Absolutely.
Probably more than with anyone else, right?
Yeah.
But it comes from a place of I know that. Oh, whoa! Sorry.
I know. I've been holding it back.
I just thought about it for a second. I just know that no matter what, he'll never like leave me or like abandon me or any of that. So if I have to, get my point across.
Well, and at the end of the day, it's like, any time that we would have an argument, it's so insignificant to our relationship as people. It's just business.
Oh my
like,
gosh.
if you don't like something, just get it. Ding. Just get it. Just talk about it and like move on, because it's so. And I'm gonna say something. the way that we work doesn't work for a lot of people. The friendship business thing, it's like I have seen relationships get destroyed because of that. But like we're not, what is it? We're the exception, not the rule, right? But I think it's because our mindset is just so, we always think the same. We are always going in the same direction. We always know where the end goal is. And like if we have a disagreement, so we'll have a disagreement. And in 20 minutes she's gonna text me a stupid meme about someone's weird looking dog. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter. You did last night.
I love Demi Moore's dog.
I've never seen Demi Moore's dog.
We're going to show it to you after.
Amazing.
Yeah. So I think, and that's the thing is like, because also at the end of the day, it's us again. Like it is us, the two of us against the world. It's the TFD girls against, it's the divas against the world. Like, because we have to, I want everyone, I've built, again, here it is, chosen family. I wanted to build this group, this family to support each other, to protect each other, and just to get, like, if one of us goes up, we all go up. You know what I mean? That's what we've always said, you know? Like, if we have opportunities where people can come in and be part of a show and then everyone comes up together, that's the best. We love doing cool things with our friends. That's it.
Chosen
Do you ever have
family.
those people in your life that like, if you're having an emotion or something and you need to get it out, it's better to get it out at someone you're very close with instead of other people.
Yes.
Like I know I'm thinking of one very specific time when we were on tour and I was really overwhelmed. I was really tired. It was just like a short flight, like or like whatever. It was a hard travel day, I should say. And I was packing up my stuff and I yelled at him so aggressively. I did. I really did. And
Which time?
I just know, and I just yelled at him, and I was just putting all of my frustration on him in that moment. But I think he didn't deserve it, and it had nothing to do with him. It was me being tired. It was me being frustrated with X, Y, and Z. But it's almost like one of those things where I was like, it was almost better for me to get it out on him so that I could then, put on a great show.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy? I don't even know what you're talking about.
And like,
You're compartmentalizing.
deal with all these amazing fans and the people and all this stuff. And then I was able to be so much more happy and upbeat. But it's because we have that really like strong relationship.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So I don't know if that's healthy or unhealthy. I'm sure.
I mean, I think
We all have our stuff.
Like I actually don't even remember what she's talking about because again, it just is so
I'm
in the
always
grand.
yelling.
That's always. That's why. In the grand scheme of things, like stuff like that does not affect my relationship with Ken at all. Like I know it's never going to. Not like Kendall. Sorry, but like, you know what I mean? Like that's kind of like what I love the most about working with Kendall and with all the other.
Well, I can tell your relationship is so strong and so close.
Oh,
It's
I just love her. I do so much.
beautiful to witness.
It's the best.
I love it.
And honestly, I sing his praises to like all of the newer queens because a lot of them will, especially when they're going on a new season. I feel like I've fostered a good relationship with a lot of the queens in the country. A lot of them text me or call me for like advice or whatever, and so many of them are like, what is it like working with Tommy? Like, And I do feel like I will say I think I'm a part of the reason that some people have kind of like joined over.
Oh, absolutely.
To our side because
side, like it's our side.
Well, sorry, I mean, maybe our side is not the right word, but like, I mean, kind of.
Yeah.
Our team.
That's
There you go.
I
Our
like
team.
that. Our team.
No, I mean, like it's a whole thing. We're building a community within our community, and we want everyone to succeed, right? And like, and sometimes like when newer artists will talk to me and stuff, I'll also tell them, I'll be like, I don't know if I can get you anything or if I can help you, but I'm always open to give you advice of any kind. You know what I mean? Like, especially like when I work with people more on a local level, because they don't really, I'm too expensive. For lack of a better, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, I don't really like taking.
But he does it for free.
I do it for free. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't like taking a cut of things that are like on the lower paying end because like it's kind of weird. I don't really need it, but I'm always there to help them. You know what I mean? Like, as a queer elder, I want to make sure that like the next generation is protected because like what I've learned is like a lot of people like to take advantage of business opportunities with like people who are maybe not as experienced as we
Yeah.
are, right?
Yeah.
And I'm sure you do, like people will ask you advice about stuff too, you know what I mean? And then it's like we can impart that wisdom on them and then they know better going forward, right? So,
Yeah. Well, you talked a little bit about queens in Canada reaching out to you, asking you for advice. What advice would you give someone who's new and really wants to be a successful queen like yourself?
Oh, I mean, I think the number one thing I would say right now is that don't just do drag because you want to be famous. I think that that's something that we're sometimes losing the plot here a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Because we have such amazing opportunities, obviously, because of Drag Race, but that shouldn't be the goal only, is to be famous. Like, your goal can be to be on Drag Race, of course, but don't just do drag because it puts you in the forefront of being popular and da-da-da. Like, there's a love to drag that I have, and there's a love to the art form. And that came from learning about it, you know, and really immersing myself into this culture and, you know, all this history and that kind of stuff. So the number one advice that I always give for people is do drag and go out and experience the drag community. You know, doing drag doesn't mean you need to jump on stage right away. You can also be a drag performer that doesn't perform because not everyone is meant to be on stage. Let's also say that.
Drag is for everyone, but not everyone should do drag.
But that goes for any industry, right?
Yeah.
But anyone can do drag, any gender, any sexuality, any race.
Yeah,
anyone
absolutely.
can do drag, but if you're interested in it, go experience it. Go out, you know, go to the shows, meet people, that kind of stuff. And if performing is something that you want to try, then go and try that. But like, it should be about the love of drag. And I think that is how you become quote unquote successful. I guess, is if that foundation is really there. You know, I'm learning about drag every single time I get into drag. You know, I look back at pictures of myself from 2 years ago and I'm like, oh my gosh, I've changed so much. But it's because every time I do drag, I'm learning from another queen or learning on TikTok or whatever it is. But like, I love drag. I don't
Just look
think
at the eyebrow journey. That's how you know.
true,
It's
yeah.
Kendall's
Literally
eyebrow
saying
journey.
Oh my God, I had
Kendall's
eyebrow
eyebrow
blindness. I
Oh
really
my
did.
God,
Oh
me
my
too.
gosh, it was unbelievable.
I'll show you photos of me though later, and you'll.
I would love to see.
Awful.
Because mine were absolutely crazy. They were literally like caterpillars. Yeah, it was wild.
That's so funny.
But anyways, learning and growing. But that would kind of be the advice that I have for anyone.
That's so
to get
amazing.
into it.
And audiences can see through it. Like,
Oh my gosh, for
they
sure.
can fully see through if you are doing it because you love the art form of drag and performing, or if you're doing it just to like be. I call it the guy, like in promoters who promote just to be the guy, but like just to be popular. You know what I mean? People can see through that, and like you will not have a long, successful career because, like Kendall said, if your goal is to get on Drag Race, that's great. Getting on Drag Race no longer means that you are going to have a career after the show. Totally. It hasn't been like that, I would say, for a very long time. You know what I mean? Like there's so many franchises, there's so many artists that go through that, you know, that machine and stuff, and they just come out the other end. So it's like, what are you going to do and what can you offer that breaks through the noise? And foundation of the art form is a huge part of people's success in drag.
Actually saw Willem commented something on Twitter, I remember the other day, and it stood out to me, and it was basically saying, like, again, that same thing, Drag Race is not going to give you absolutely everything instantly anymore, but it's what you do outside of your career that really, you know, creates an impact, you know?
And I think it's hard for people who are not in the industry or in that world to understand. Like, for example, my sister is a singer and she's amazing and she went to school for it. She lives in LA. She's doing her own thing and she's very successful. But still, to people that don't understand that, they're like, why aren't you going on American Idol? Like,
right, yeah.
But even look at American Idol, it was just Kelly Clarkson and the one that we don't talk about anymore.
I was going to say it, but I didn't. You mean Clay Aiken?
Sure.
But it's one of those things too where it's like,
Jennifer Hudson?
Oh, true.
Oh, yes, but she wasn't a winner.
But
Adam
you
Lambert
don't have to
win.
be a winner of the reality TV
Funny
show.
enough, I actually think like that's another thing is you really don't have to win. You can be a finalist.
Yeah.
You can go home first.
Go home first on All Stars, yeah.
You know, and then it's just like the support and the foundation and the team you have behind you that gets you there, right? So, yeah. Imagine going on American Idol right now. Who's even watching that show?
I don't even know.
I don't know.
I don't even know where it's streaming, if it's streaming.
We're going to get a cease and desist from America.
Please, no, Ryan
Gonna jump
Seacrest,
in the
leave me
comments.
alone.
We're still here.
Insane. For both of you, are there any, other than Beyonce, people that inspire you? It doesn't even have to be for your job. It could be just in life in general.
Oh.
I mean, we have a very similar taste in drag performers.
Oh, yeah.
We love Marina Summers, Envy Peru.
Love Envy.
Yeah, those are like, we always send so like their pictures.
Whenever something new
love
comes
that.
up, we just send it to each other.
Yeah,
Like, well, like, what's the point anymore? Why is anyone doing anything?
And I think the cool thing about those two in particular is that they have really transcended what drag looks like within their countries. And I will say comfortably we have been able to do that as well in Canada. So it's cool. You know, you're seeing them in places that you don't necessarily expect drag performers to be. Like Marina Summers was in a Pantene commercial. And
That's so
she wears
cool.
wigs, babe.
Yeah, she does.
Like,
She
I'm
wears
obsessed
wigs.
with that.
Yeah, and she
That
was
is
like
iconic.
she performed like Miss Universe, which is like for
Yeah, it's
for people from
crazy,
the Philippines, like Miss Universe is like the
Huge,
thing, right?
yeah.
Like she's like an honorary like TF diva. You know what I
Totally,
mean? Like we
yeah.
just love her so much.
Yeah, I when I was in my early 20s, I read something, and it was basically saying that you should surround yourself or chase the things that you are jealous of. And I know that might sound strange to say, but if sometimes if you see something and you feel a little bit of jealousy because this person has this or this person is doing this and you're not, there's a beauty in that. And it doesn't necessarily need to be competitive. It doesn't necessarily need to be negative as well. But I think that jealousy often comes obviously from wanting what that person has. So surround yourself with people that keep you on your toes. You know, I think that's such a cool thing. You know, it's inspiring.
It is inspiring.
When people are doing stuff and, I don't know, creating.
Yeah, for sure. I know we talked about the Human Rights Museum performance. Is there anything else that you can remember, big or small, that is just like something that impacted you that you've done?
Just say BC Place, girl.
A BC Place, I performed at, yes.
That's insane.
No, but like I love how like just no. She was the first drag performer to perform at BC Place in front of 60,000 people for the Rugby Sevens. I mean, I can like rattle. Let me rattle them off. I'll be Kendall. I'll be like my favorite. Okay, BC Place.
But you have to say it in my voice. My voice is lower than yours.
Okay, so
There it is.
okay. So, I mean, I just don't understand why I just got anyway. That's her. Okay, so BC Place, she was on Vancouver Mag's Power 50. And like these
So
are kind of
cool.
like I also love these moments. They're all on my
Yeah.
wall, right? And then she was the first drag queen to be on the cover of Vancouver magazine.
So cool.
You know what I mean? So like there's all of these things. She had a makeup brand and all these like she's gonna be too humble to say it, but she just loves to remind me at least once a week.
No. He just refreshes my bio.
I do. I like to refresh. Yeah.
No, I've got to do some really, really, really cool things. And I think that it's often amazing being quote unquote the first of some things because it's been cool to see after other drag performers getting that opportunity or being, you know, seen for stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's just so cool. Sometimes I sit back and I'm like, yo, like we kind of knocked the door down on that one.
Yeah.
You know,
she did BC Place and then like Cynthia Kiss did it
Yeah,
and then
Venus.
Venus did it, who just won Canada's Drag Race season 4. Your
my
drag
daughter. Yes, my
of
beautiful
course.
daughter.
And then like even the small things, like some of my favorite things are because we don't perform or do shows as much in Vancouver as we used to, just because we're either away or exhausted.
International baddies.
But like some of my favorite things are like when we do shows back home.
Of
Like
course.
when we did Kennesaun's back, it was just like
my gosh.
it's just so loud.
Yeah.
Like people are so loud here, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
those are like some of my favorite moments are like when we get to do stuff back home because it's like, I don't know, this is where we start. We're just sometimes I just keep thinking of like Human Rights Museum is great, but then we're there and I'm like, we're just like two punks who used to do shows at the Junction. Do you know what I
Which
mean?
is
And now we're
amazing,
here.
yeah.
It's super crazy and like very, very thankful, very grateful. But like we did work really hard. We worked really hard. Yeah.
It sounds like it. Well, honestly, I would say Hometown Heroes.
Oh wow.
That's nice.
Like,
Where's my
genuinely.
mural?
I'll paint one of you. You can be right there in the corner.
Aw, I should have pictures of you up in my apartment like you have of me.
Oh, you know what?
All the girls.
Here's the thing. It's less for me. It's because I have a wall of like all the like photos of like really special moments, and it's less. I mean, a lot of them are Ken, whatever, but it's less of like pictures of Kendall and more of like the accomplishments that we've all done together. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I
of
just
course.
like to be reminded of those days. Like, okay, yes, let's go right back. We're circling back to the beginning. Sometimes when you're over it, like, yeah, there are days where like the emails are bad, everyone is saying no, the gigs are like not coming in, the girls are stressed out, and then I'm like, I just get kind of over it, and then I just look over and I'm like, we're gonna be fine. It's a little slow, but we're gonna be fine, and it's like, it's great.
And I think that's like, just to piggyback off that for other performers and that kind of stuff, is that like the opportunities are not always going to come to you. Sometimes you have to make the opportunities for yourself, whatever that looks like. People always say, I've heard this over my whole life. Oh, Vancouver is no fun, or there's nothing
no
going
fun
on
city.
here. And I'm like, okay, then make something
Something
fun.
happen.
Literally. We say that all the time, too.
Make the event that you want to go to then.
Yeah.
Do the show that you want to see.
Literally.
Honestly, that is exactly why I started doing this when I was 21. I went to a party in a different state. I said, this is really fun. I heard a DJ said, I think this would be great in Vancouver. And so I just did it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and that's that. Make your own opportunities, foundation in art form, have a great team around you, and like, I don't know, just be cool.
Yeah, be cool.
Just be cool, everyone.
So, before we get into the rapid fire questions,
Oh, I'm excited for this.
let's end off. What are you looking forward to in the next year, 2 years? Is there anything coming up that you're really excited about?
Just hit it. Hit the launch. Hit the launch, baby. 'Cause it's what we're both excited about for Kendall.
I think that my focus for this year is really finding a way to continue to give back to the community that really saved me. So I have recently started the Kendall Gender Foundation.
Beautiful.
Which has been a lot of, work and everything to put it together. But it is, I hope that ends up being my legacy in some ways. So basically what we're doing is we're raising money every calendar year, and then the money that we raise is going to go towards someone's treatment in a drug and rehabilitation center.
Wow.
Because it costs about $38,000 to go through treatment. And that's also just a small amount of time, which is crazy. But I think, as queer people, I think there's a lot of mental health and drug issues, and I myself am 10 years sober. So I just wanted to find a way to give back. And I think that's really my focus right now is raising money for that. And I think that's
beautiful.
kind of the thing that I'm the most kind of excited about at this moment.
When does it launch? Has it launched?
It has, yeah. Yeah, it launched maybe 3 weeks ago.
Wow.
And we've already been able to raise $5,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how can people get involved in that?
So you can check out more information and how to donate at www.kendallgender.com/foundation. It's also in my Instagram bio. It's just like right there. It's all really easy to donate on GoFundMe and all that kind of stuff. And more information is on there as well.
That is so beautiful and such an important thing to do, especially in Vancouver. I know we have so many people struggling.
Yeah.
That's very timely and amazing. So thank you for doing that.
Oh, thank you.
Let's play a game. Okay. Okay, it's called Who's More Likely To? And maybe I did steal it from Alex
gosh.
Cooper.
We
Please
love that.
don't come for me. You inspire me, Queen. Who is more likely to spill the tea?
Me. I love gossiping.
Me too.
Love gossiping.
Did you know that gossiping is like a female empowerment thing? But
Love women. Support women.
literally same. Who's more likely to start a fashion trend?
Not me. Absolutely not.
I mean, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Because of omission, let's go Ken.
Yeah, sure.
Kendall.
I'm a follower.
Yeah.
Who's more likely to win a lip sync battle?
Kendall.
Oh,
Obviously. Professional.
Hey, technically on Drag Race, I've not lost a lip sync except that obviously the main one before I lost the crown. But technically I won both of those lip syncs on my season.
Who's more likely to crash a party uninvited?
Oh God.
Well, I don't party.
Yeah,
so
and
I guess.
I'm probably me, but like I don't really go out that much.
Yeah, no.
Same. Who's more likely to prank someone backstage?
Oh, I've never done that because that
Oh.
scares me. Because
That
I'm like,
would be-
we're very by the book.
That would be crazy. I don't
Yeah.
think either of us on
Yeah.
that. No, we're too serious
That's
backstage.
so funny. Who's more likely to get lost on their way to an event?
Oh, me for sure.
100%. Yeah.
I just failed my driver's test. So.
Congratulations. We've all been there. Who's more likely to give the best advice?
That's a no. I can't. It's. I can give her great advice. I can't take my own, and she gives me incredible advice.
And I can't take my own.
And she can't take her own.
No one can take their own advice.
Yeah.
Who's more likely to start a viral social media trend?
Me.
Have you ever?
My videos have gone viral.
Perfect.
A
TikTok dance?
The one of me as Woody. In specific.
Oh yeah. That
Or my
one was
costume
crazy.
breaking at brunch.
Yeah,
I
another
think that
great
one's
one.
at like 12 million or
Oh
something.
my
It's
goodness.
wild,
On
yeah.
TikTok?
On TikTok, yeah.
Crazy.
And in Canada, we don't make a single dollar from
I
it.
know. That's so sad. We need that. Who's more likely to accidentally send a text to the wrong person?
Me, I've done it so many times. Thank
See,
God.
gossip.
Thank God for the unsend feature. I did it to you.
No, was he talking?
No. Well, no,
No,
it wasn't
no,
bad.
you
I
weren't.
wanted to send her something, but I sent it to the person that I screen capped.
Yeah.
That's dark.
I've done stuff like that before too.
But it was nice. It was nice.
Yeah, it was
It was
nice.
nice.
I
Yeah.
actually have a
It was panic
story
mode.
about that I'm gonna say it off.
Yeah, me and Sophia panicked for like a whole
What do we
night.
do?
Anyways,
What do we do? That's so funny. Who's more likely to perform a dramatic death drop?
oh, not me.
I mean, I don't do those little dips.
Dips.
so-
I could never.
we are
I tried,
too
but
old.
the
The knees.
I could barely do Legree. Like my hamstrings were so tight.
She used to do the butt drop with the legs up, but now it's the back.
Yeah, I know that one's faded away.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I just like Bob the drag queen said they were like, you know, you gotta
Protect your body.
longevity is very important.
So true.
You know.
So true. Who is more likely to take the longest to get ready?
Oh, obviously. me.
Who's more likely to get recognized outside of an event?
I guess
I would say you.
me,
You're more
yeah.
famous, obviously. Yeah. Before TV, it was me. I
you
used
were
to be
on
on
TV.
TV. Yes, I was the original TF Diva girl. I had 2 reality shows on OutTV. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. There's like
In
a there's,
1965.
there's a whole wow.
No, that's cool.
Wait.
I had a talk show called Homorazzi, and it was very much like The View, but it was like 3 gay guys. We can't do it now.
On MTV?
No, it was on OutTV.
Oh, I was like, what?
Believe me, if it was on MTV, we'd be having a different
But
conversation.
still, wow.
And then I had a
cool, right?
reality show called Don't Quit Your Gay Job, where it was like me and my friend
That's
Adam, and we would go out and we would find out a job that we were learning on one day, and then we would have to learn it, and then we would compete in like challenges for the job the next day.
Oh my
Yeah,
God, that's so funny. That's like The Simple Life.
it's a different life.
Oh my God, kind of.
Actually, yeah.
Yeah. Who's more likely to be a secret introvert?
I'm not a secret introvert. I am an
Yeah.
introvert. I'm an introverted extrovert.
I love that.
I think, because so much of my life is outward facing. I love my alone time. I think we both are. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Me too.
I think we both know where we're, if it's like 10:30 p.m., like I know exactly what's happening. He has his game controller and his little
Had my little
curly-
headset and
and
saying
that
bye.
and that one curl that sticks out on the side.
Is it there?
happening.
Is it
Yeah.
there? Yeah, that one.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'm in my Snuggie
Yeah.
watching Housewives. Yeah.
I love
It's just like
Yeah.
it's less like being introvert and more like we need to recharge our batteries because it's
Yeah.
so we expel so much energy, right?
So true. Well,
That's
that's it.
Oh my God, call us daddy.
Call us daddy. Genuinely, thank you so much, both of you, for
thank
being
you.
here. It was such an honor to have you.
That was
And
so fun.
shout yourselves out. Where can the people find you?
You can find me on most social media at Kendall Gender or some sort of combination of that.
Amazing.
And
Tommy?
I'm Tommy D on Instagram and screaming backstage at everybody else. That's it.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sophia.